something crosses the road. It's skeletal like, fleshy, and it stands up, and then it like kind of just almost like leaps.
They look back and they see one. Clear as day. It walked 5 feet away from my audio recorder. We just saw a Bigfoot. Holy crap.
I've been pinched, I've been tapped on the shoulder, I've had my name hollered, a hand came up underneath my left arm. I said, little son of a bitch tried to get me. That was the time that I decided you don't sleep inside that building.
Did you see that?
The cow cur, it's big, it's white, and it runs faster than any man could ever run. And it would lean out behind the tree. And that's why we never go out, because the booger will get you.
I have a whole new background.
You do have a whole new background. Hopefully soon I'll have a whole new background. I talked to somebody today that might be interested in buying a house, so it's exciting. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Exploring the Unknown. I'm Dustin.
Luke.
And we are your hosts with the most ghosts. It's been a while since I've said that.
Yeah.
But this episode, we are going to dive into some Filipino folklore. I am Filipino, so this is going to be kind of fun for me because I've heard about some of these things in the past, and you have not, right? Except for what I've told you.
We found, besides what we researched and shit, yeah.
Yeah, so this episode, we are diving into the Aswang. So what do you think about the Aswang?
It's a very interesting creature, I can say that.
What do you think that it most closely represents in our own, like what people would probably be more familiar with?
I would say a shapeshifter.
A shapeshifter?
Yeah.
Well, what is it? It's not the skinwalker's the shapeshifter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that this comes anywhere close to what the skinwalker is?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's hard to say.
Okay.
Because this creature is a lot different than what what's it called? Skinwalker could be.
Yeah. But yeah, the Aswang has many different representations, including connections to, like I said, the Manananggal, and it's in a variant known for its unique transformation abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whenever I was doing some research, I had found that there was ways that you can detect an Aswang. How to detect an Aswang.
That's interesting. How you detect a swan? A swan.
Well, there's many different ways, but the one that I liked was the eye reflection.
Mm-hmm.
If you look into someone's eyes and you see yourself upside down, then that isn't a Aswang.
Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, I actually see on the news right here that there's actually ones with the oil method too, where it's, the oil bubbles through the reaction caused by the presence of your swan, which is very interesting how the oil bubbles.
Wonder what the oil's made of. Like, these are obviously things that have been passed down through teachings and stuff, like folklore beliefs, whatnot. You know, like what were they mixing? How did they know what to mix?
Yeah. And then this other method here that says using a mirror, a crucifix, and some special herbs to ward off the swan, which is interesting too.
Well, that kind of sounds like a vampire, you know. I mean, you use garlic to ward off a vampire, and they can't see themselves in the mirror. I wonder if there's just some things that are relative across all different cultures. But that kind of makes me wonder in itself, like, why? It's not like you had somebody from every different culture come together and they say, okay, now we're all going to make the vampire. How are you going to create the vampire and write it down and pass it down through history? So why is it seem that way?
Yeah, well, if it's like the Filipino vampire.
Well, it just makes me think that this might have actually been something that was real at one point.
Yeah.
But
No,
go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
No, I'm more curious to know where you were going to take the conversation.
Now, I was looking at like the fears of the Aswang, and there's a lot of different fears that come along with the Aswang, like death and disease.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Like the cultural the symbolism of like how we know that the Grim Reaper has been represented as death. Yeah, so I had seen that the fear of death often linked to death and mortality, as the Aswangs are said to prey on the living, especially pregnant women and infants.
Now that's interesting. Like what? Like what about a pregnant lady and infants this thing has? Like maybe they're more like.
I don't know. Like
maybe they're more vulnerable.
Maybe. I think that a lot of these things are put into place too. We know, as before, we've found that they're put into place to kind of keep control, to kind of keep people within a certain boundary. And I think that maybe this could be one of those things.
Yeah, but why pregnant women? Why? I mean, I can see infants because they're like, oh, well, don't go lay out now, like, or the Aswang will get you or something like that. But, like, why pregnant women?
I don't know. Like, I'm sitting here trying to, like, look at it from a logical perspective as to why you would why would you instill fear into them particular people or infants or, you know what I mean? Like, what are you trying to prevent them from doing?
Yeah. Yeah, that's very, like, interesting. Now, it also comes along with, like, they say diseases, like, the Aswang myth made severe a cautionary tale about diseases and illnesses, symbolizing social anxieties about health and mortality. Now, do you think with this Aswang, where, like, if you see it, you might get, like, a sickness, or like it has, I don't know, if I see this thing, maybe it's just a mental thing. It's like, oh, like anxiety comes over you and stuff like that.
Well, I think that what that's saying is it's like what we were just talking about, is it's that cautionary tale. It's to keep people controlled to an extent, like how the skinwalker is kind of put into place to keep people from eating each other or something like that.
That's a Wendigo.
Or the Wendigo. Yeah, that's right. I mean, that could be one of those things, and I think that's might be what it's talking about there. Some historians suggest that the Aswang myth may have originated to explain unexplainable tragedies such as sudden death, miscarriage, mental health particularly. If you have somebody acting a little strange, or somebody suddenly just disappears, or even miscarriages, people are going to have questions. And during that time,
what happened and stuff like that.
Right.
Why this happened.
Right. And you have to have, and during that time, I mean, they would all turn to probably the person that's the priest of the tribe or whatever, and that's what the explanation would be, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, there's even still recent sightings today, with this creature in the Philippines. The last one we found was on February 14th, 2023. What seems to be a mangamangel description, like a bat-like creature, which is kind of weird because when I hear bat-like creature, like something like with bat wings, I think a Mothman. Now, like, what if this is a different variant of Mothman?
I mean, maybe that's interesting, but it also says that it has the ability to detach its torso. I don't think Mothman can separate itself.
No, but that's fucking terrifying. Sorry for my language.
That would be terrifying. That would be so terrifying. Oh my God. I couldn't imagine just walking down a dirt road at nighttime and you see this creature perched up on the tree there. It looks like a person, and then the wings pop out and then it separates its torso from its legs and flies down at you. What are you doing?
What can you do besides like die of fear? Have a heart attack.
That's probably what I would do, is just have a heart attack.
Now, these bat wing-like creatures is very interesting because they're all over the world.
The bat-like creatures?
Yeah. Like bat wings.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm also thinking Jeepers Creepers had bat wings. I'm not sure if he was known to detach himself from the body, but Jeepers Creepers have some bat-like wings.
I don't know that I've seen Jeepers Creepers, but it makes me wonder, though, if maybe whoever wrote the movie didn't have some influence from this creature in Filipino culture.
That and Mothman.
And Mothman, yeah. I mean, yeah, we have winged beings like throughout all different kinds of cultures.
Pop culture with Jeepers Creepers and stuff like that.
So before we get too far away from this, you had mentioned that there was a recent sighting. Did you said it was on February 14th, or did you say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so February 14th, 2023, in Talisay, Philippines, there was 2 girls that reported a sighting of a creature resembling, like you said, a manananggal. There were other strange reports too in the community that brought panic. Reports of other strange creatures, including ones with a pig's head, that had stirred fear in the community. Authorities had held a press conference to reassure residents, emphasizing the importance of rational responses to rumors. And then that's insane.
Yeah, I can imagine seeing a creature with a pig-like head. That would be kind of terrifying too.
That's supposed to be a bad omen, isn't it?
Maybe.
Maybe. You don't know what your belief is, do you?
No, I'm just here. I'm just open about everything.
Yeah, I try to stay open about everything, but I'm so skeptical of it all because it seems there's a lot of it that seems far-fetched, and there's a lot of it that seems like, okay, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I was watching last night Jack Osborne's or something like that. I can't remember the Osbornes, where he like takes his sister and goes to different places, and they like live stream it back to Ozzy and Sharon. Well, they were at, and I think we talked to somebody that been here. Is Frater been to I think he called it the Octagon House?
Yeah.
Is
My
it?
dad been there.
Your dad's been there. Is that in L.A.?
Mm-hmm. No.
Okay, well, this is a different place then. So in Los Angeles, there is like this property, and I can't remember what they called it. But there's all these old Victorian houses that they had brought from various locations, and they set up on this property to look like a little town. Every single one of these houses has activity in it. Every single one. And you can rent out the whole thing.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. That's a goal for sure. If anybody would like to contribute to that, that would be amazing. Because if we have the opportunity, we will go.
We'll live stream the whole thing too.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, we talked about the folklore and all that behind the being. This was an interesting fact I found, and you thought this was interesting too. So, in historical context with this creature, is a psychological warfare that has to do with this in the 1950s.
Mm-hmm.
And it was during this time where the Aswang was rumored to allegedly spread by the CIA to instill fear and disruption on other countries, which I was like, that's pretty intense.
On
How
other
do you make up a story
on other countries?
like during the war?
Oh, okay. I see. Okay. Rumors were allegedly spread by the CIA to instill fear and disrupt the insurgency. And what did you say? How do I feel about that?
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
You know, I don't know how to feel about that because it just further solidifies my theory or belief, just like a lot of people, that the government is corrupt. I mean, I know, like, it's obvious, but I mean, to go as far as to spread rumors about something that may not even exist,
yeah,
like, that's insane. What if
this?
No, go ahead.
What if they're spreading rumors because they never exist and they were scare people?
I mean, that's true too. I mean, where was it? They had put out. Oh wait, it was in what was it? North Carolina, South Carolina. The Lizard Man. Was it Lizard Man?
Yeah.
Where
I believe so.
The sheriff or somebody, they had put out a warning of Lizard Man to watch out or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think would happen nowadays if something like that got put out as like a public warning?
I don't know. Do you believe it?
If I got
do you not?
If I got a letter in the mail saying watch out for Lizard Man and it was from the state of Pennsylvania, I'd probably be like, yeah, you know what? You're probably right. It's out there.
See, I'm gonna get a look for it before I'd be like, oh yeah, it's definitely true.
You're gonna go look for it? What if? Okay, hold on.
That's what we do.
I understand that, but let me give you the description of what it says in this state letter. 10-foot tall, lizard-like creature, walking on two legs, sharp teeth, and a tail. I don't know. That's as far as I was getting. It pretty much looks like an alligator on two legs.
Okay. That's going to make me be more interested and be like, oh, shit, I want to actually see this creature.
No. I mean, that's the thing.
It's like watching Spider-Man. And you see the lizard guy. I mean, that would be cool as hell if he wasn't trying to kill me.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Like, that would be cool. But the thing is like, with what we do, then I get so frustrated with myself because I feel like a pansy. Because just like the other night, like whenever things were happening, and I was like, it feels like there's somebody here messing with me because it just didn't make sense for those things to be happening. My thing is with what we do, technically, we should be going towards what that is, or what, you know what I mean? In a way, we're out there to do that specifically. But whenever
it's hard when you're across the lake from whatever this thing is, though, too.
Right, but what I'm saying is, like, we get freaked out sometimes. Then we feel unsafe, and then we leave whenever things amp up. How can we be like, we're investigators if we can't even stick around to investigate?
I think it depends on the whole situation, though, too.
Yeah, I get it.
Because if you feel like that overwhelmed I mean, everyone been feeling like shit. I need to get out of here. Like, that's probably that gut feeling where it's like you probably should.
Right. I think, and I agree with you 100%. I don't think that you should be putting yourself into a position where you don't feel comfortable at all. But sometimes I think that we let our brain get to us, and we make it more than what it may be. So we, you know what I mean? But
yeah, there's times. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, I think I just judge it. I judge me too much. That's why I feel the way that I do.
I think it all depends on the situation too, because there's times where I've been through something, and we were down in Gettysburg years ago, and we were on the battlefield, like right before it got dark, like right before you have to leave. And I saw this white silhouette like walk across like the battlefield. And I was like, oh shit, what is that? So I ran right towards the shit. I was like, it's my dad. I was kind of upset. It was my dad, but I seen this silhouette like walking across the way. So I ran right towards it, and it was end up my dad. But another thing, I was at James Allegheny. We were gonna take a shower. And I saw a shadow walk across the hallway down by the other end of the building, and I was by myself. And I went towards it to see if there was anybody there, and there was nobody down there. So I think it all depends on the situation.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. If I out there looking for Bigfoot, it's a little different because there is something out there that could potentially kill me. Ghost hunting, yes. I'm a little bit more like, it's possible that I could get harmed by a spirit, but I go through houses and stuff like that all the time. You know what I mean? Not all the time. Like I'm like sneaking into people's houses or anything, but
yeah,
I don't encounter it every day. Like I don't encounter Bigfoot every day, but I feel like Bigfoot is more likely to exist in a harmful way than a spirit. But I feel like we're getting off track here. Back to the Aswang. So how do I feel about them putting out rumors about the Aswang? It's messed up, but we have messed up people. So, I mean, it is what it is, I guess.
It's kind of smart too.
It's
kind of smart too.
It is. Well, that's the thing. That's the best way to control is through fear.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so we have another story, another encounter that we had found on Reddit.
Yep.
So should we give a little background to the story or just jump right into the story?
Let's just jump right into it. I think it was pretty cool. Let's just jump right into it.
Okay, let's just get into the story then.
This happened in Metro Manila around 2011. One day, my cousin casually mentioned the old man with the new neighbors asked if you were pregnant. I was stunned. I hadn't even told my family yet. I was 21, working nights at a call center, and I barely left the house. I was only a few weeks along, so I knew I wasn't showing. How did this nosy old man know? The neighbors were new to the area, having moved from a province where witchcraft and Aswangs were still widely talked about. They were friendly enough, and no one had anything bad to say about them, except for one disturbing rumor. People whispered that they knew they were Aswang. Fast forward to when I was about 8 months pregnant. It was around 2 a.m. and my brother and I were watching late night TV. Suddenly something big landed on our tin roof with such force that the windows rattled. My brother and I exchanged wide-eyed glances as we listened to the sound of footsteps. Yes, footsteps, right above me, on the roof. I wasn't a religious person, but in that moment I prayed. I called on gods, saints, and angels to protect my baby. Then I remembered my grandmother's story about how she had once escaped an Aswang attack by placing a pillow between her legs to mask the baby's scent. I did exactly that. We sat there, holding our breath, waiting. Seconds, minutes, I don't know how long it was, but eventually we heard another jump, and then silence. To this day, I'm grateful my brother was there to witness it with me. It still feels unreal, but it happened. It happened to me. Then I thought of that nosy old man. Could it have been him? There's something unsettling about it all. Something weird, mysterious, and unfinished.
That'd be freaky if you were a pregnant woman.
I mean, yeah.
And knowing how the swangs go after the children and pregnant women.
Right. My thing is where did it happen?
Mm-hmm.
Because if this happened in the Philippines, there's a chance it could have been like a monkey or something.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but a monkey big enough to shake the windows.
I mean, they might have some thick monkeys. I don't know. Well, what else? I mean, it's not just monkey. Well, see, it said footsteps, but then again, it never specified if it was bipedal or if it was. But then again, I guess it doesn't matter. I don't know. Stories like this leave it so mysterious.
Yeah.
That it's like, what could it have been versus what it actually was?
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting story.
So, this Halloween, what is your preferred method for a swang detection?
Well, no, I'm going with the eye thing.
You're going with the eye thing?
The eye idea. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the thing, though. If you got to be close enough to be able to see it. And if it's a swang, do you really want to be that close to it?
No, but I mean, I think I would know, hey, shit, this isn't a swang. See, I don't have enough mirrors and crucifixes to do the whole crucifix and mirror thing, so.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
I mean, the oil would be pretty interesting though, too.
I find it interesting that there was that account or that encounter that had happened in 2000. What did I say? 2013?
I don't remember.
No, this was 2023. So this was really recent. And you know what? I'll have to look further into it, but I'm pretty sure that them girls ended up having to have like counseling because they had like PTSD from the encounter.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The importance of addressing mental health needs post-encounter as seen with the girls receiving counseling. Yep. That's wild.
That's interesting.
So they had to have encountered something. Something must have happened out there for them to need counseling.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, you want to wrap this up?
I am ready to wrap this up. Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and do the podcast mention stuff?
Yeah, I'll do all that, and you can look for the would you rather question.
Yeah, let's do that.
Hey, thanks everybody. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Exploring Unknown. We've been a little busy with life situations, and that's why we haven't posted last week's episode. But now we will be back posting every weekend. As you can tell, if you're watching this on YouTube, I am in a different environment because my apartment caught fire last Monday. Podcast mentions we have Cash App and PayPal if you feel like you'd like to send a donation through that to help support the show. You can also do that as well. And go check out our YouTube. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the like button and the bell button for notifications every time we go live. We go live every Tuesdays and Thursdays around 11 o'clock, which now it's getting a little colder outside, so we might be getting out a little less, but we'll try to go out as much as we can. And go check out our website, exploringtheunknownpod.com. That's all for the podcast mentions.
I have such a good would you rather for you.
Sure.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Would you rather Be cursed to transform into an aswang every night, feasting on the unsuspecting to survive, but living with the knowledge of your deeds during the day? Or would you rather be hunted by an aswang every night, always on the run, but with the power to stop it if you can find its lair before dawn?
I probably have to go with the second one.
You'd rather be hunted by it?
Yeah, could you imagine being cursed by this thing and turning into a swamp and going out killing people at night? And like, you have to live through that throughout the day, knowing what you did.
Oh my god, you're right. There's no way. Like, oh man, that's a good one. That was a really good one. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm gonna have to say. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to go with the second one too. I couldn't go around knowing what I did the night before. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's hard. That'd be hard.
Well, that would be terrible. My gosh. I don't have any.
Well, before we hop off here,
Ooh.
I'm gonna I covered my mic for a minute. Before we hop off here, I'm just gonna mention the whole thing on Facebook, if you don't mind.
No, yeah, that's fine.
Before we hop off here, I told you guys earlier that our apartment had caught fire on Monday. And if you go over to our Facebook page, if you would like, you don't have to. We have a GoFundMe page on there for us and the family. So if you feel comfortable going over there, doesn't have to be a crazy amount. Go over there to the Facebook page and click the link on our page and help us out a little bit. The much help we appreciate.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if you was okay with mentioning it on the episode or not. I didn't get to ask you before we started recording.
No, that's fine.
Cool. Yeah, definitely, guys. Go check that out on the Facebook page. That's where that'll be. I think you can put the link in the description too. So
I'll have to try to do that.
yeah, but yeah, I don't think I have anything else for this.
No, until next time.
Keep exploring the unknown.